Episode 1 doesn't just look good, it looks ridiculously good. From the very first scene, the world pulls you in and doesn't let go. Even with a full 1 hour runtime though, the episode still skips over a surprising amount of background lore from the novel. A lot of important details are quietly left in the shadows. Things like how long humanity has actually been fighting the Blight, what goddesses really are, and why heroes exist in the first place aren't fully explained. And that matters because this story isn't just about flashy fights. It's built on a system that's equal parts punishment and desperation. Being sentenced as a hero isn't just dangerous, it's effectively endless. There's technically a way out: wipe out every demon lord and completely stop the Blight. Easy, right? Realistically though, that kind of victory is treated like a children's fairy tale. Most heroes know their sentence could last decades or centuries. Dying doesn't even help. When heroes fall, they're resurrected, but it's not some clean, heroic revival. Every resurrection chips away at their memories and sense of self. The process is described as dragging a soul out of hell and forcing it back into a body, and the condition of that body matters a lot. If parts are missing, replacements get improvised. As long as all the necessary pieces exist, revival is attempted anyway. Over time, this is how some heroes end up as barely functional walking corpses. Congratulations, you're immortal, but at what cost? That's the system Xylo and Dota are stuck in. Dota, in particular, is a walking red flag. He's a criminal prodigy with over 1,000 burglaries under his belt, including the time he stole a dragon from the royal family. Which sounds impressive until you remember the dragon ate his arm. Dota isn't brave, he's just incapable of not stealing things. If it exists and isn't nailed down, it's already gone. Which brings us to the coffin.
Dota steals it on pure impulse and only realizes what's inside after the fact. When Xylo opens it, the situation immediately goes from bad to how did this even happen? Inside is a goddess, one of humanity's most valuable weapons, and somehow this is the thing Dota managed to shoplift. Despite the name, goddesses aren't all women, and some of them aren't even human-shaped. They're ancient superweapons created to fight the demon Blight. Only 12 were thought to exist. Teorita is the exception, the never-activated 13th. She makes an entrance with maximum confidence and zero subtlety, already fishing for praise before anything has even exploded. Personality-wise, that tracks. All goddesses are proud, battle-hungry, and extremely approval-motivated. Save the world? Sure. Get praised for it? Absolutely mandatory. The timing couldn't be worse because humanity is already hanging on by a thread. Coven Forest, where Xylo and Dota are deployed, sits in the northern part of the Federated Kingdom, the last nation still standing. The enemy they're facing includes a demon lord and an army of 5,000, and retreat is not optional. The sacred seals around the heroes' necks make sure of that. Those seals enforce obedience in the most brutal way possible. Disobey orders or try to run and they kill you. Then you get resurrected. Then you do it again. It's a very efficient system if you ignore the whole eternal suffering part. Penal Hero Unit 9004 is supposed to handle the retreat, but most of its members are dead, being resurrected, or stuck on other missions. That leaves Xylo, Dota, and their commander, Benetim. Benetim isn't much of a fighter or a leader or particularly useful in combat, but he is extremely good at lying. And surprisingly, that helps. Thanks to some very creative negotiation, the mission conditions are changed. Instead of defeating the Demon Lord, success now means getting most of the Holy Knights out alive. It's the only reason this mission isn't an automatic death sentence. When Xylo reaches a detachment of Holy Knights, things are already going terribly. 200 soldiers are down to 20, and the forest itself has turned hostile. Mutated wildlife and predatory fairies roam the area, all warped into nightmare versions of what they used to be. Getting through them requires teamwork. Xylo uses the sacred seal on his palm to channel power into his blade, while Dota relies on his constant fear, which gives him an almost supernatural awareness of nearby life. He's terrified, but that terror lets him pinpoint enemies with alarming accuracy. Anxiety? Now a tactical advantage. Despite everything, Xylo still hesitates to accept Tyriota's help. He tries to brush her off, even appealing to her pride by saying her power is wasted on such a small task. The conversation ends the moment combat starts, and that's when the mechanics of his abilities really show. the explosions don't come from his weapon, they come from the sacred seal itself. One of the few seals Xylo can still use, the seal of heat and light, lets him pour destructive power into objects. The more power he uses, the bigger the boom. Simple, effective, extremely loud. Dota isn't slacking either. His staff contains a sacred seal that fires lightning bolts that are borderline unfair to dodge. Between the two of them, the fairies are wiped out, but only 10 holy knights survive. Instead of gratitude, they respond with open disgust. Xylo seriously considers leaving them behind as bait. It's Tiriota who steps in, offering to stop the next wave herself. The problem is that once her power is used, there's no going back, no retreat, no pretending this is a small skirmish. That choice becomes unavoidable when word comes in that the Holy Knights are advancing instead of retreating. Their captain has no intention of pulling back, convinced they can still win. Without Xylo on the front lines, that belief is wildly optimistic at best. That's when Xylo finally agrees to form a pact. The pact binds him to Tiriota until one of them dies. He offers a part of himself as proof, and the bond runs deep, deeper than he expects. It feels like regaining something he didn't even realize he'd lost. Emotionally devastating. Very inconvenient timing. With the pact formed, everything changes. Each goddess has a summoning ability, and Tiriota's is immediately clear. Swords. A lot of swords. Famous swords, cursed swords, holy swords. Basically, if it has a blade, she can summon it. Xylo instinctively understands how to use her power, and the two of them move in perfect sync. This is why goddesses are humanity's ultimate trump card. The anime skips an entire fight here. In the novel, Tiriota drops a literal fence of swords from the sky, killing half of them instantly. The rest take one look and decide that today is not their day. Dota claims he didn't fight because he doesn't like hurting people, which is questionable. Tiriota, meanwhile, wants exactly one thing: praise. By the time they get their next orders, Xylo fully commits to taking down the Demon Lord. Xylo hates being underestimated. The Holy Knights see him as disposable, a criminal tool meant to die quietly. He plans to prove them wrong in the loudest way possible. And that leads straight into the battle with the main army, which wraps up the rest of Episode 1.
Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the like button. It genuinely helps a lot, and I really appreciate it. If you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up. Seeing that support honestly motivates me to keep making more videos like this.